Daily disciplines compound over time. Hi guys, my name is Christine and I'm a dating, relationship and personal development coach. And today I'm talking about daily disciplines compound over time. But before we get into this video, please leave a like on it and please do subscribe if you haven't done so already. And if you have a topic that you'd like me to discuss in a future video, then please leave it down in the comments. Or if you have any tips and advice yourself, so we can all help each other out. Thank you so much. Okay, so today I'm going to be talking about daily disciplines that compound over time. So basically what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be going into some things that I have recently become more disciplined. Also one that I've been kind of doing for a while as well. And I'm basically just going to tell you my story, my advice on daily disciplines and what I've done to discipline myself, because I can only really go from my own experiences. And just a quick note as well. I say at the beginning of each video that I'm a coach, right? I coach people, but I only coach people on what I actually do know. I only coach people on what I know have seen that has worked. Like, there's no point me coaching you about what to invest in the stock market or what kind of valuables to invest in. There's no point in me doing that because I don't have much knowledge about that. I don't have the life experience to, back that up. So I always go from my own experience. And basically, you could be a life coach too if you wanted to. Obviously, it might not be something you want to do. But if there is something that you're considering or thinking about doing, what things have you overcome? What things have you kind of achieved? What kind of things have you done in your life that has worked? Because no doubt, someone is probably searching up that kind of information right now and trying to find that out for themselves. They are trying to figure out the things that you've figured out. Whereas, you might have things unfigured out as well. And you probably search for things like this might be something that you've searched up, daily disciplines, how to be more disciplined. So if this is something you've searched up, then obviously that's something you need help with. But there might be some things that you've overcome, that you've struggled with, that you can give advice to people on. But anyway, that's just something to consider. So I'm going to go into my first point, the latest basically daily discipline that I have done. And I've spoken about this a couple of times, so recurring viewers may already know a little bit about this. So my most recent important daily discipline was waking up an hour early to read, because I have all these books and most of them, you can see a lot of them, a few of them there. So you can see all these books and a lot of them are on personal development. And obviously as a personal development coach, I like to read up on personal development, so it keeps my mind sharp to tools and techniques. So some of them I've read once, some of them I've read more than once, and some of them I haven't read at all, and they've just been collecting dust for a while. So anyway, I was looking at my books thinking, I really want to read all of them again, and I want to read the ones I haven't read yet, because they're there, they're waiting for me. I can hear them kind of calling me, right? So I had this goal roughly around September, October time of 2020, that I really wanted to read more books. But the thing is that I felt like I didn't have enough time. Now, in truth, I probably could have squeezed some more time in, because usually that's a big excuse, like, I don't have any time, But what I do know about myself is that I easily get distracted. I do kind of get warped into things, like sucked into things. So like, let's say I'm writing an article for my website, then sometimes I can get really sucked into that. Or when I'm creating videos, sometimes I get really perfectiony on the editing process. So then I spend just hours on one video because I'm just really trying to perfect it. Sometimes that can happen as well. But anyway, I get really distracted easily and I get sucked into tasks. So I realized that the only thing I could really do is make time, like not try and fit in somewhere in my work day. I had to make time somewhere else, like at the end of the day or at the beginning of the day. And I realized that when it gets to like past like 6 o'clock, I'm usually out. Like because I've worked throughout the day, my mind is usually like just gone and I just want to zone out. So I realized that probably the best thing for me to do is to actually just wake up an hour earlier, because I'm a bit more fresher in the morning and it's something that I could easily do. So I used to wake up roughly around 6 a.m. and now I get up at 4:55 a.m. And the reason why I get up at 4:55 a.m. is because I'd really like a good hour to read. So that first 5 minutes really helps me, get going. It helps me I make a cup of coffee. And because, that's one of the things that helps me get up, knowing that I can go and make myself a cup of coffee and I can sip it while I am reading my book. Another thing that helps me get out of bed, as opposed to, wanting to sleep for another hour and get up my usual time. And also as well, just so you know, I have actually not done this 100%. Like sometimes I have succumbed to my own kind of undisciplined self and went back to bed. Like sometimes that does happen. But most of the time, let's say like 95% of the time, I do get up. And knowing that I'm going to have a cup of coffee and I can drink that while I'm reading really does help motivate me to get out of bed. Another thing that really motivates me is the fact that I really do genuinely love reading books on personal development and things like that. So that's also another motivator. Like I enjoy the task, like I enjoy reading those things. I think if you don't really enjoy the task that much, then you're not going to be, it's going to take more willpower basically. And also another thing, which is kind of quite unique, I think, is so my wife really likes to drink apple juice in the morning. She drinks that before she does anything else. She drinks it before she has breakfast or has her own cup of coffee. There was times when I woke up and I was at that time as well, because we wake up roughly around the same time. And I ask her, oh, do you want a coffee as well? And she's like, no, I don't want that. But she does have apple juice. So one of the things that motivates me is because when I make my cup of coffee, because at that time she's usually still in the shower, I put out a glass of apple juice for her. And because I put out a glass of apple juice for her, I kind of feel guilty, like really guilty, if I don't do that, because she's going to walk into our living room and she's going to see that there's no apple juice on the table and I'm not there. So that's another thing that kind of really stirs me to go and do that, because I just feel bad. I don't know, it's when you really love someone, you feel bad when you don't do those little small things for them that you usually do. And the glass of apple juice is one of those things for me. So it's really easy for me to get up. Like it doesn't take much for me to get out of bed to actually do that. But it does take a lot actually for me to want to go back to sleep. Like one of the main factors of me sometimes that when I do go back to sleep is the fact that I just really, really haven't had enough sleep and I don't feel too good. So that's one of the huge ones why I do occasionally succumb to that mental chatter that tells you to go back to bed. This is something that I've just really been doing during the week. So that means Monday to Friday. On the weekends, we do have a bit more of a lay-in. But anyway, because I've been doing this roughly since October 2020, the result of that, the compound of that over time, well, it's July now, so how many months has it been? It's been roughly about 9 months. And the result of doing that for 9 months is I've read roughly around 30 to 31 books. So waking up an hour each day to read can result in reading 31 books in about a 9-month period. So my other discipline that I've been doing for a bit longer than that has obviously been my YouTube channel and making videos for it daily. I didn't used to make daily videos. I used to make like just during the week videos. Like I didn't used to actually make videos for Saturday and Sunday, but I do that now, and I've been doing that for a while now as well. But anyway, I've been making videos for a lot longer, and basically how I kind of got myself into doing that is by just uploading something, even if it kind of sucked. Which is why some of my videos on my channel, if you go and watch some of my older ones, you'll realize that, hey, you know what, these aren't that great. These don't have that much information in it. It's kind of cliche. I mean, obviously with cliches, one of the things about those is sometimes, a cliche is a cliche for a reason. Like if someone says to you something that's a cliche, it's probably because it's true, because most cliches are actually really, really true. So anyway, that's pretty much what those videos consisted of. Just cliche things that people have kind of said over and over and over again. And also some of the times the quality wasn't very good. So like the sound might be a bit off, or the video quality is dark or something. So I just don't look very good in those videos. And those videos aren't really the best when it comes to coaching videos either, even though I am a coach, because it took a while for me to become comfortable. Also, it took a while for me to, get the structure right of how I want to convey this information to people. So it took some time to get into not only the discipline of making daily videos, but also getting the right kind of information and being able to try, get the energy into it and the information correct, in a sort of coherent way. And an effective way as well. I'm fully aware that one day those videos will probably come back to bite me. No doubt someone will go through them and think, wow, what the hell is this? what is this mess? So I'm fully aware that that may happen one day. Perhaps I will delete. I've already deleted a few off my channel. I've already got rid of a few, but also, and perhaps I'll get rid of more at some point. But I'm fully aware that they're bad videos. In fact, some of the most popular coaching videos I have, I don't look that great in them, so it might be like really dark, or the lighting is off, or I don't sound good. Things like that. So if you go and look at actually some of my most popular coaching videos, some of them aren't that good. In fact, the most popular ones really aren't that good at all. I guess the only saving grace in that is that I know what I say in those videos is true, and it is advice. It is advice that is true. It's not BS. So that's kind of like the only saving grace of those videos. But as a video, it's pretty bad. Information, the information I give works. The information is correct. It just doesn't look very good. So anyway, as the result of making so many videos, I've now made roughly around 360 videos. It's something along those lines. So that's the compound of, being able to do that. And hopefully now I'm a lot better than what I was when I first started doing this kind of thing. So now I'm going to go into a few things that I'm still trying to master. Like the action is there usually, but the discipline it needs to be tightened up basically. And this one is exercise. So what I usually do on a perfect day is I would do like 20 minutes of weightlifting with dumbbells and roughly around 40 minutes of cardio. Now it's much more easier for me to do cardio. I found that to be much more pleasant experience because I can block out a good amount of time for that. Because when I do cardio, I listen to like a podcast or an audiobook or a lecture. So that's a good listening time. So I'm also not only just, doing cardio, and I quite enjoy cardio, but I'm also listening to something educational because I do these guided exercises, routines on YouTube. One of my favorites is Body Project. So when I'm doing one of those kinds of videos, I don't really have to listen to what's going on. I can just watch what they're doing. And so therefore I can turn the volume down and listen to something else while I'm doing that. That is still something that I've been trying to discipline myself in more. So the compound of becoming a lot more consistent is I am quite fit right now. I definitely notice when I'm walking up hills, generally just walking about, I don't get out of breath as much and I have a lot more energy to do so. I also noticed on my leg, because my knee after it's my left knee, that after I've walked for a certain amount of time, for actually a certain amount of steps it used to be just over the 10,000 step mark, that's when my knee started to feel terrible. It would start to hurt and it would be very hard to walk on it. So I'm pretty sure I probably need some kind of physio for that. But anyway, recently I've noticed that I can go for much longer on that. I can go for much longer before it starts to hurt. So it gets to roughly around 20,000 steps, because I went on vacation recently and we was walking a lot. And I think it got to roughly around the 20,000 step mark, and that's when my knee started to hurt. So I can actually withstand a lot more walking on that knee. It's not too bad. It's not I can still walk on it. It just hurts. It just hurts a lot. So that's something that I've noticed. I've also noticed my body has changed. I have a lot more muscle around my legs, at the back of my legs and the front of my legs. My arms are a lot more toned. My arms are a lot more toned as well. Also, my back's a lot more toned from doing the weightlifting and obviously the cardio as well. Probably more so from the weightlifting, which kind of sucks because I don't like doing the weightlifting, but that is the one that changes my body shape-wise the most when it comes to, exercise. I actually did make a weight loss video, so you can go and watch that here so you can see what I did, because I was quite chunky at some point. So another daily discipline that has helped me, especially when it comes to health and my weight and things like that, has been cutting out carbs from my diet. And I don't mean all carbs, because you can't eliminate all carbs from your diet, because there's a lot of things that have carbohydrates in. But I'm talking about white bread, pasta, not whole wheat, the white pasta, and also white rice. Those are things that I've cut out from my diet, especially during the week. On the weekends I tend to be a little bit more lenient, but as a rule during the week don't really have carbs. And as a result of that, I feel that out of everything has made me lose more weight than anything else, even more so than the exercise and the weightlifting. Obviously exercise and weightlifting are good and they're important to keep your body healthy, like especially as you get older, because when you get older, like it's important that you work on your leg strength at least, because that's what holds you up, you know. At least that's what I found anyway. Like the stronger I get my legs, basically, the better I, you know, like with my knee, like the better it is for me to be able to walk and stuff. So, you know, doing those squats, doing the weighted squats is really effective. At least that's what I found anyway. And obviously cardio is good for like overall endurance. At least, again, that's what I found. Like, I'm not an expert in like food, like what to eat and what kind of exercise to do, but I'm only just going through basically what has worked for me. Do I suggest that you should do all these things? No, you need to find out what works best for you. And of course, always talk to like your GP or your main doctor, especially if you're planning on changing your diet dramatically. So not eating those kinds of carbs has probably done more for my weight loss than anything else. And you can learn all about that in that video that I made about the weight loss journey I went on. So those are the like daily disciplines that I have been implementing into my own life. Like I said, some of them I've mastered, some of them I haven't quite yet mastered yet, especially when it comes to exercise. But one of the great things actually about the dieting, about not eating carbohydrates, is because it's really easy to be able to do something like that, because you just don't buy it in the supermarket. Because if you don't have it in your house, it's so much more easier to not eat those things. So that's just something to consider. So anyway, I hope you found this video useful. If you'd like to get in touch with me personally and you'd like coaching with me, then please go to www.christineloveridge.com. Thank you so much for watching, and I shall talk to you again very soon. Goodbye, guys.